The Royal Rumble match has been a WWE staple since 1988, and in that time, there are certain circumstances or scenarios that have only happened one time and one time only. These range from a wrestler cutting an extended promo in the middle of the match to an outside world champion entering the Rumble match with the hopes of headlining WrestleMania. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 11 things that only happened once in a Royal Rumble match. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 11. Outside World Champion in the Royal Rumble. The 2022 Women's Royal Rumble was historic, as it was the first Rumble to feature an outside world champion in the match. Wrestling legend and then reigning Knockouts champion Mickie James would enter the match thanks to an agreement WWE had with Impact Wrestling. Mickie would enter with her iconic hardcore country theme song and would wear the Knockouts World title with immense pride. Quite rightly, Mickie received a thunderous reaction as the fans in attendance knew the significance of the moment that they were witnessing live. Since Mickie's Rumble appearance, there have been calls for WWE to involve similar outside talents in the Rumble match, but it's unknown if this is something WWE are going to consider. Number 10. Royal Rumble without fans in attendance. The global pandemic changed how companies such as WWE operated, and for what seemed like a lifetime, WWE produced all their shows with zero fans in attendance. This was seen with the 2021 Royal Rumble, as both men's and women's Rumble was presented with no fans whatsoever. They smartly utilized the Thunderdome, which involved having virtual fans on LED boards, but it just wasn't the same. WWE would also introduce fake crowd noise to make it appear that wrestlers were getting huge ovations, but this felt awkward upon execution. Nevertheless, the two Rumble matches were well received outside of lack of fans, and WWE did a decent job under very difficult circumstances. Number 9. A mid-match promo. The work of CM Punk in the 2010 Royal Rumble was tremendous. Punk went into the match with his straight-edge savior persona at its peak, and Punk was given a ton of time to get his character over. Randomly in the match though, Punk would begin to cut an extended promo about his straight-edge lifestyle. This could have fallen flat in the Rumble match, but it was timed extremely well, and the WWE not to go into overkill. Interestingly, this marked the only time in the Rumble history that a featured promo had been delivered during a match. There was some disappointment when Punk was eventually eliminated by Triple H, as his work in the match was such a highlight. In terms of all-time greats, the 2010 Rumble is mostly known for the return of Edge, but the Rumble features a number of highlights including Punk's aforementioned promo, as well as Shawn Michaels' compelling quest to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26. Number 8. The deleted Royal Rumble winner. The 2004 Royal Rumble at the time was acclaimed by fans. The match saw Chris Benoit win the entire match and get set to headline WrestleMania 20. Outside of Benoit's victory, the match was incredibly strong from a storytelling perspective, as the Rumble managed to advance iconic feuds such as Mick Foley vs Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar vs Goldberg, and The Undertaker vs Kane. Unfortunately, due to Benoit's actions in 2007, Benoit's Rumble win has virtually been erased from WWE history books, and the Rumble match itself has been labelled as the Forgotten Rumble. In WWE's official synopsis and summary of the show, they have decided to completely omit even mentioning the Rumble match itself. It reads, 4 titles were on the line at 2004's Royal Rumble event, but none changed hands. Among the featured bouts included Triple H holding on to the World Heavyweight Championship after a brutal last man standing match with Shawn Michaels ended in a draw. Number 7. A non-wrestler wins the Royal Rumble. Thankfully, only one non-wrestler has ever won the Royal Rumble. This occurred in 1999 when Vince McMahon won the prestigious matchup. This decision received criticism at the time, as some fans believed it was a huge waste. The McMahon victory mainly existed to further the issues between McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Did McMahon's victory impact the credibility and legitimacy of the Royal Rumble match? Well, it's hard to determine, but McMahon ultimately didn't headline WrestleMania or even seek to use his Rumble victory to challenge for the WWE title. So these are all points that point towards McMahon's victory not being too big of a deal. Number 6. A dance-off in the Rumble. The only Royal Rumble that has featured a dance-off was at the 2000 iteration of the event, when Too Cool decided to put the every man for himself mantra aside in favour of entertaining the fans in attendance. The MSG fans loved this spot and the crowd became unglued. The spot didn't take away from the match, as it was rather brief, and when it culminated, WWE went back into serious mode and got the Rumble match back on track. Number 5. World Champion on commentary. In 2011, WWE decided to try something new for the Royal Rumble match. For the first time in company history, the Rumble would feature a total of 40 stars. This was an interesting move, and fans believed at the time it was to accommodate the Nexus vs. Core storyline and to have all stable members participate in the match. Did the extra men enhance the Rumble? Well, not really, it was a rather dull Rumble in hindsight, and the highlights were without question the WWE returns of Booker T and Diesel respectively. Outside of having 40 men in the match, the Rumble did mark a WWE first. For the Rumble match, reigning WWE Champion The Miz would perform commentary for the later stage of the match. This was the first time and only time in company history that a reigning WWE Champion had performed commentary to see who could be potentially facing on the grandest stage of them all. Number 4, the only person DQ'd in a Royal Rumble. The 2008 Royal Rumble was mostly known for featuring the in-ring return of John Cena, but it also featured the only Rumble in WWE history to feature a DQ. In the match itself, Hornswoggle was about to be attacked by Mark Henry and Big Daddy V, but before they could inflict any damage, Finlay rushed to the ring and attacked them both with his shillelagh. Finlay was immediately disqualified from the match and wasn't permitted to return despite being drawn to enter the match at number 27. It was ruled that the DQ was down to Finlay using a weapon, but this received criticism as weapons have been used in the match before, for instance 2001, where they had the whole hardcore segment. This was a case of WWE failing to remember their own rules and their own continuity. In order to apply some consistency, WWE should have explained that either Finlay was disqualified for jumping the gun and entering before he was permitted, or Vince McMahon wasn't allowing Finlay to continue, which would have furthered the ongoing rivalry between Hornswoggle and McMahon. Number 3. Co-winners. There's only been one Rumble to date that has featured co-winners winning the match. This occurred in 1994 when both Bret Hart and Lex Luger won the prestigious matchup. WWE booked a spot which saw both men get eliminated at the same time, and WWE President Jack Tunney declared that both men were co-winners of the Rumble match. It was then declared that both Hart and Luger would get title shots at WrestleMania 10. The feedback back in 1994 to two men winning the Rumble wasn't stellar, as fans don't want two people winning the Rumble as it just defeats the purpose of the matchup. Thankfully, WWE have yet to repeat this 94 Rumble win, and for every Rumble since, only one wrestler has won the match. Number 2, a man enters the Women's Royal Rumble. Santina Marella was an infamous wrestler that was introduced in 2009. Santina was Santino Marella in drag, and fans thought the character had been retired, but that was until Santina made an appearance in the 2020 Royal Rumble. Santina would enter the Women's Rumble at number 29 and would last just over a minute before being self-eliminated in a comedic spot. Santino is currently the only male wrestler to ever enter the Women's Royal Rumble match, and this is unlikely to change anytime soon. And number 1, the most people in the ring at once. Traditionally, in a Royal Rumble match, the number of wrestlers in the ring at one time is usually limited. Naturally, the more talent that are in the ring simultaneously, the harder it is to execute spots and tell compelling stories. However, in 2009, WWE decided to have a total of 15 wrestlers in the match at once, making it the Rumble with the most wrestlers in the ring at the same time. At one stage in the match, the following wrestlers were all in the ring: Triple H, Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr., Cody Rhodes, R-Truth, Rob Van Dam, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Finlay, Kane, Mike Knox, Chris Jericho, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Undertaker, and finally The Big Show. The 2009 match virtually turned into a battle royal towards the end, and this is something that WWE haven't replicated since, as it was extremely hard for fans to follow the action with so many wrestlers in the ring at one time. But there you have it, folks, 11 specific things that only happened once in a Royal Rumble match. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.